Good morning, everyone, or good morning, or afternoon, or evening replay viewers who are here in these first couple of seconds. So, I'm going to bring up my notes today. Today is workshop 4 for our Lionsgate series, and you may be thinking, wow, this is like a lot of content. And yes, it might be a little bit of content. Dip in as you need to, where you want to. I'm actually building this out to be a whole Wiccan manifestation product. And so I decided to gift it all to you as I was creating it. So you are getting a whole course. Okay, so let's actually just get started into the content. As you're jumping on, say hello. Let me know you're here so that I can welcome you and greet you. So today's workshop 4. So workshop 1, we covered how to craft a manifestation or a vision statement that is 5D, that is new paradigm, that is actually ensuring you're manifesting on the new timeline and not the old timeline. And then in the second workshop, we talked about our somatic magic work, the practices that we can do and implement. We're going to go more into that today, obviously. And our energetic apothecary. We talked about, in workshop 3, timelines. I taught you how to construct timeline essences and work with them. We talked about internal transformations and alchemy, all sorts of things happening there. Okay, so having said all of that, we're now up to 4. And, you know what? My comments aren't showing. I can just see that you commented, Lou. That's so annoying. Come on, comments. Maybe if I write a comment, I'll see. Hello, everyone. Oh, there's Lou. Okay. Okay. Hey, Lou. It's lovely to see you this morning. Okay. Welcome to everyone. I am curious, what essences have people decided to focus on? You don't have to give me all of them, but maybe one or two, right, that came forwards for you when you were crafting your vision statement. So remember, the essence might be the felt state of the manifestation in experience. It might be a value you want to live into. It may also be related to a growth journey you know that you need to take. Right, we've talked about all that before, so I won't get into that. But share with me an essence. I would love to hear what everyone's essences are. It's a lot of fun. Okay, so let's dive in right now and just get going. Today is all about the practical process of manifestation. What you need to do, in what order, how you need to do it, what you need to do every day, blah, blah, blah. We're going to go into the practical pieces. We're actually 24 hours out from the peaking of Lionsgate at the moment, and the energy does feel pretty intense. I wrote a post yesterday about how for some people, those intense energy surges can upset, stress the tolerance levels of your somatic body. With that much energy coming at you, intense energy coming at you, it can actually send your somatic body, depending on its capacity to hold energy, into a wobble. And if that is the case, it will probably be being interpreted by your nervous system as a heightened sense of anxiety or stress or jitteriness. It's actually moving you, it's activating you into a sympathetic state. Just know that. Go check out the post if that's you. If that is you and you want to leave a comment here, let me know and I might be able to give you some more tips. Realize what it is. Take some breaths, ground, use some of our skill sets here, and just understand what's happening. We are peaking in the next 24 hours. This is also a good time to do your ritual if you haven't yet done your ritual, everyone. So, and if anyone is still like, I don't even have a ritual, let me know. I'm going to assume everyone here has rituals kind of out the wazoo. But if you don't, that's 100% okay. Just let me know and I'll find you something that you can definitely do. Good morning, Lisa. Mwah. Okay, so this practical process. Let's just recap quickly for a minute the journey of manifestation so that we're all on board with what we're doing here. So first up, we craft a clean manifestation goal. Clean, new paradigm, 5D. So we've stripped it from the lower 3D energies, we've stripped it from suffering, we've created it from 5D space, all the things we've talked about already. You have a nice, clean, beautiful new paradigm vision statement. Okay, then the next thing, and it's got all the little bits, what am I releasing in service to this or something better, all the bits we talked about. Okay. Now, next thing you want to do when you're already in the manifestation process is you want to do your ritual, right? So what is happening here is you're taking your vision statement and you're birthing it. You're actually creating it on a higher plane or dimension of experience or reality, and the different dimensions have different properties that govern their state. And the higher dimensional planes, 7 and above, is where instant manifestation actually occurs. So when you're casting a ritual and you're saying it's done, it's done, it's done, it is done, okay, where is it done? It's done up there on the 7th dimensional plane, usually. It could be even higher, right? But up there. So then your next job is, and this is actually the most of the work of manifestation, is to take it from those higher dimensional planes, which are not planes of physical form, right? And bring the manifestation down dimensionally into somewhere where the dimension is a dimension of form. So you birth the manifestation, or you pull the manifestation into the physical, right? So it's up here, that's instantaneous, but then you've got to actually bring it through the density of dimension into a dimension of form. Now, previously we had to get all the way to 3D, right? So we had to come down many dimensional levels. Now, if you've crafted for the new timeline for 5D, with 5D quality, with 5D scoping, all of that in place, then you actually only have to bring it to 5D. It is actually quicker and typically easier to manifest 5D than 3D. You have less density involved dimensionally, okay? But this process of coming down dimensionally and bringing it into form, that is receiving the manifestation. That is actually where you're going to spend the bulk of your time. The rest of the stuff you could do in an hour, right? Like those first couple pieces you could do if you had clarity on what you were doing. You just go and do the ritual, and the ritual is a good thing to do, right? Like I'm definitely not. Don't skip that, right? I'll talk about that a little bit later today, right? But the process where people have trouble seeing their manifestation through is the bit down, getting it down into this plane of existence, wherever you're currently hanging out on, right? And that's actually what you want. We call that receiving the manifestation, okay? And so there is a gap between the casting and the receiving of the manifestation. That is typically where the snafu and the chaos occurs, and it's also where the internal transformation occurs, it's where the growth occurs, it's where your highest service potential is. It's actually where, from your soul's perspective, it's cool that you want the thing, but your soul is interested in your evolution and growth, right? And for manifestation to be a growth principle, and all of the life things, life is growth, right? So a manifestation is one of those divine principles in place. We're always creating and manifesting. We might not be doing it consciously, but we're always manifesting our reality, right? And what our soul's most interested in is the growth. So this receiving part from the higher divine perspective is where it's all at. And your soul, where it's all at. And your embodied self here in incarnated form might be going, no, it's about the thing, right? But you as the soul is like, no, it's about the growth, it's about the expansion. And the thing you get too, right? But I want everyone to understand that this receiving piece is where you actually want to lean in. This is the place to create sustainability, joy in the journey. I'm going to talk about all this today, right? Not because we're not getting the thing. We're getting the thing, okay? But because we need to orientate differently and focus on what is really the work here and what is the journey. Okay, and that is where we're going today. So that's the order, right? We have the clarity and the crafting. We know what it is. We put in place a ritual and we birth it. The ritual gives it an energetic container. It gives focus. It gives intention. It gives direction. It forms that clear pathway. It's our job to keep it clear between it birthing on the higher plane in here. So the ritual is doing a lot of pieces, right? We do the ritual and then we receive the manifestation. Okay, so let us get into receiving the manifestation. Right, so over the next 24 hours, if you haven't yet, do the ritual. We've already done the crafting. Hopefully you've been practicing some of the techniques and playing. Some of you may have already installed and done the timeline essence. Highly recommend that, by the way. That's one of the guided audios that I released yesterday. So you're in progress anyway. Formalize it with the ritual, and now let's move into this receiving piece, okay? Okay, so the receiving is a journey, right? And as I go through and talk about what you want to be doing, I want to make it super clear that this is about creating consistency. This is about shifting the way you experience your life so that the manifestation, it just, well, of course, that's kind of inevitable. That is what is, because you're living the life. So you don't want this to be a constant, it's not here yet, it's not here yet, it's not here yet, right? That is a commitment to suffer. Okay, and we talked about that in the first workshop. It's a bit of Buddhist philosophy right here, but we need to strip that. Okay, it's not here yet. I don't have it yet, right? That is, it creates tension, anxiety, stress, fear in the body. None of those things are a great frequency. They're probably not in alignment with whatever it is you just birthed on those upper planes. Hey, Rebecca. Mwah! Thank you so much, honey. Right, if you're, so you, this is one of the main reasons that you want to constantly be checking, what is my mental state? Am I actually thinking thoughts that are causing suffering here, right? Because if you are, you're putting your somatic body and your frequency into a state that is not magnetically pulling that goal towards you. Okay, seriously, this is super important, right? So the journey matters. You want to be living the experience without, is it here yet, is it here yet, is it here yet? Which means the journey itself has to be liberating, it has to be exciting, it has to open you up, it has to expand you, it has to just be something that feels good, that this is the you. Right? This is not something you do until you get the manifestation. This is you growing into the magnetic space, and the manifestation just pops in after that, right? I'm not even going to tell you how many people, how many hundreds of clients I've had who've like, okay, I'm trying to manifest this. Like a month later, they're like talking to me and I'm like, oh, you manifested it. And they're like, oh yeah, right? It's like almost an afterthought. It's because the journey becomes the thing. Okay, you get the thing at the end, but it's the journey, right? So I want you to keep this in mind. This is not holding our breath until the manifestation drops in, right? This is expanding in. So everything I'm talking about here is, how do we make this fun? How do we make this joyful? How do we make this sustainable and consistent? This is just who I be, right? I'm not temporarily being this to get it. This is who I now be. Right? And the second point, as I lean into all of the things that you can be doing in the receiving to speed it up and make it an easier process, is none of this is about perfection, right? It is about consistency, little teeny tiny consistencies. You do not have to fix everything or get it perfect or strip all suffering from your thought consciousness for the whole day, right? That's not possible. That's actually going to create more suffering. Okay, is not about that. Manifestations, your goal, your thing can drop in all along the path. All sorts of stuff can drop in, and you can still be working on whatever it is that you're doing in your manifestation journey. All these tips I'm giving you, you do not have to be perfect. You can be in progress and achieve the manifestation. The question is, are you going in the right direction? Are you spiraling up? We're going to talk about this. Are you coming into alignment? Are you moving the right way on the journey? Okay. So I want to make that clear, because sometimes people get hung up on, I'm not there yet. Oh my God, I've got so much self-work to do before I'm ever going to get this, right? You need to just be committed to moving in the right direction and taking like small consistent actions, right? That's putting you in the correct flow. Remember we talked about the currents of creation, the way they're flowing, the movement they're flowing. You want to be moving with them, not trying to swim upstream. Okay, and as long as you're moving with them, even if you're inching forwards, you're going the right way. Okay, and that is setting you up for the manifestation to drop in. Okay, so having prefaced by saying those two things, let's start talking about what the journeys are that you're going to be taking, that you're going to be living into. Okay, so the first growth journey is, who am I becoming? Who am I becoming? And that could be based on your timeline beliefs or actions. If you've done the timeline essence work, the Akashic audio, then you know what I'm talking about. I put you on that timeline in your records, and we associate it into the you that is living that manifestation as their new norm. And I asked you to get inside your own head in that timeline. It's like, what do you now believe? Right? What do you now experience? What are the actions you now take? What actions do you no longer take? Right? That is the who I am becoming. You want to be doing that now, before the manifestation arrives, in whatever form that needs to look like for your current life, for the classroom of your life now. That's the growth journey. That's a big one. The second one, where do I need to grow? We talked about in workshop 1 our worried parts. Your worried parts are going to kick up at this phase of the manifestation much more, right? The doubt and the fear pieces, they're coming too, and we're going to talk about them, like, oh, I don't know if it's going to get it, fear of failure, I'm not going to have it, or I've tried before and I haven't got it before, and all of those pieces, right? They're all worried parts. Do not ignore your worried parts and try to steamroller over them. Okay, where do you need to grow? Where do you need to soothe? Where do you need to reframe? Is that really truth? Okay, because some of it might be true, right? And you want to have a think about that and tweak some pieces. Oh, okay, well, given that, where do I need to grow? Right? But we're not going to ignore the worried parts. We're going to hear them. We're going to continue to soothe them. If we don't, they are kicking up resistance and blocks. They're putting chugs and holes in that lens in our current of creation, our manifestation. And if we get too many of them, the manifestation, the currents of life, they're going to keep flowing. Currents of creation, they're moving. They got to keep life going. They will go path of least resistance around your manifestation goal if it's too clogged with gunk. Okay, your job at this point is to keep it as gunkless as possible. Not perfect, but less gunk, okay? Okay, so where do you need to grow? Are you leaning into the growth journey that could be there? And what is the universe in the classroom showing me? The classroom of my life. We're going to talk more about that today, and how you can understand where guidance is actually, the divine is actually directing you all over the place using the classroom of your life. We'll talk about that in a few minutes, okay? So all of those things can be happening. That's your growth journey piece. The other piece that's going to be coming up along this journey is the releasing suffering. I've already mentioned it heaps today. But over and over during the day, where am I committing to some form of suffering? Am I stuck in suffering here? Am I in this habit of suffering here? Right? Look at it. And they're like, okay, whoa, pause. How can I do this differently? How could I think about this differently? Either of those things, right? We talked about that in a previous workshop. If anyone wants a recap, ask questions. I know you guys are here because I can see some comments. Let me know, right? But I'm trying to just not go over what we've already covered. But you really want to be looking at that, because here is where this stuff is kicking up. Your worried parts, your doubting parts, your fearful parts, all of that. And I'm going to talk more in another workshop about how a really awesome process for stripping and realigning with some of this on a more divine level. But here I want you to be noticing your self-talk and noticing what is moving within you that's going to affect your frequency, that's going to affect who you be and how you show up. Because your job is I get to do this differently, right? I get to do this differently. No, that's the old me. Worried part? That's the old us. It's okay. we're safe, but we're going to do it differently now. How does this feel to you? Let's go do this instead, right? And we're constantly moving into a different who we be state, along with soothing and healing and growing the parts of us that need to come on board. Not for perfect, we don't have to get perfect here. It's going to take probably more than this manifestation to totally rewire your inner critic. You're probably going to get the manifestation before that journey's complete, right? So it's not perfection, but you are consistently with consciousness working in the right direction, okay? And the other journey, there's two more that you're going to be doing. I'm going to sum this up in a nice list in a second, is finding that congruency within. So that's the worried part again, tweaking to make it work. Do I need to tweak it? It's like, wow, am I hitting a bunch of walls in the classroom of my life? Does it look like I'm swimming upstream? You try to think, no, like you're just hitting a ton of walls. For me, that's a sign to take a huge step back, drop everything, and go, wait a minute. There is a better direct path, okay? Let's rethink this. Either my worried parts are so the hell up, or I'm so attached to suffering around this, everything's going crazy. Or, wait a minute, this actually, I've gotten confused, I've overcomplicated things, and I'm actually not on the direct path here anymore. And that's a harder, slower slog. If the classroom of your life is showing that to you, then that's like, whoa, okay, maybe I need to tweak and step back, okay? And the last one that you want to be doing all the time in this journey of receiving the manifestation is living into who you be vibrationally now. Living the manifestation essences, you've got a collection of them already in the apothecary, as much as possible now. Okay, there will always be ways to experience the essences, the vibrational matches in your day-to-day experience now. I guarantee it. Even if you don't have the thing yet, the things, the vision, the experience, whatever it is, you can live the essences now. You can experience the essences now. You can be seeing them in your classroom of your life, no matter how tiny, no matter how sort of, it's a variation of it, that's 100% okay. But those are the things that you want to be leaning into, breathing, capturing, stacking on top of that essence, invoking the essence all the time, right? You want to be, why are we doing this? Because we are rewiring our nervous systems towards the path that we want to be on, the growth. We're also constantly resetting our energetic projection frequency, what we're putting out. We are like a radio station or a magnetic radio station. We're ping, ping, we're just going to keep pulsing with that energy, right? And if it's the one that's in alignment with the manifestation, we are highly magnetic. Okay, this is why we're doing this essence work. Are you lining up against that manifestation over and over again so that that pathway we created in ritual between it birthed here and here we are can go into slipstream fast as possible, easy as possible? Can it drop in? And all of that is around your alignment, your congruency, and your vibration. You know that, right? I'm probably not telling you something new here. How are we doing it? You're looking for the worried part, you're looking for the suffering, you're looking for the growth journeys, and you're looking at your essence and living it now. So we talked about this has to be sustainable, okay? If you're trying to do it in a mad dash, slugging yourself out, and you know there's no way you can consistently do this. I don't know, let's say it's a health goal, and you're like, gonna exercise for 2 hours every day, right? then you're kind of suffering for your manifestation, okay? Because that is going to feel like it's not here yet, I got to keep working, I got to work hard for this, I got to suffer for this, I got to slog for this, and it better fucking happen fast, because I don't think I can do this for very long. I might be able to do this for a couple of weeks, and then it's probably going to kill me, right? Like, no, that's not the path towards the health goal. What is the path? It's the sustainable direction that you want to be moving, the essences, the experiences. Where am I growing? I'm a person who loves movement. How can I just build movement in, right? We want you to start rethinking. If I'm not being specific enough or clear enough, I don't know what everyone is manifesting. So Ask questions because I can help you reorientate this so that it is a liberating, fun journey. Manifestation is not meant to be suffering and struggling. It's not meant to feel, oh, I've got to pull up the big girl panties and kind of suck it in and get ready to manifest this. It's meant to be an opportunity for more freedom, more delight, more of what we want, more experience while we're getting it. Okay, not only once we've got it. Okay, while, present moment. From a magical or energetic perspective, your power, where you have all the power, where all of your energetic power lies, is in present moment. It is from present moment that you call the animus, that you work the work, that you think the thoughts, whatever it is. It's the present moment. If you constantly keep yourself pushed out in the future or stressed out thinking about the past, those places are not where your power is lying. Okay? You can affect them, but only from the present. So you want to be living the present manifestation as much as possible with those essences. Okay, what the hell does all this look like on a day-to-day basis? Let's do that. This is the daily practice or the daily art. And what we're actually doing, besides aligning and setting ourselves into that column so that the manifestation can just drop straight down to us, is we are constantly moving ourselves also closer to the manifestation by constantly moving into a 5D experience. Now that's a big statement, and there's lots that goes into. There's not one way of moving into 5D. There are a gazillion ways. And you know that weaving for the weavers here is the fastest, easiest way to do it, and I highly recommend it, right? But that's definitely not the only way. There are many ways. These that I'm giving you now are ways of moving into 5D experience specifically in relation to this manifestation, okay? Meaning you're also going to feel more awesome. The goal is to be experiencing life from the 5D state, feeling awesome about the journey that you're actually on. You want to be loving this so much that when the manifestation comes, it's like awesome and you're grateful and you're happy and you're excited and woohoo. But, oh yeah, of course, that's right. Because it was awesome actually experiencing the craft of manifestation. Okay? So, what you're going to do is you are going to put in place what we call an in-the-moment practice. And the in-the-moment practice is something that just takes a minute or two. It is not a big piece of work that you need to do. You can do it at any time of the day, in any situation, it will be a different result every time, okay? And so what you're going to do, it's pretty simple, is you are going to multiple times a day, either set an alarm on your phone and do it at a regular interval, do it at the beginning of the day, do it before you go to bed, do it at both. That's the bookend approach. Do it anytime in the moment, in the day, when you feel a wobble, when you feel like, or less than awesome, or less than 5D, right? Like, oh my God, I'm muggling through in the density of it all. That's a great time. Your practice is there to support you into this alignment that we want to be in. So those are all times and places you can do it. Pick something solid as a definite go-to, and then I highly encourage you to do it throughout the day because you're going to actually clear the path far faster if you capture it authentically in the moment, in the classroom of your life. It's like, oh, reorientate, oh, resettle, right? Like reshift. Okay, so you're going to check in at any of those points and tune into yourself, okay? And then you're going to ask, what does this situation ask for in service to the manifestation? Okay? Or if you prefer this one, what can I do now, present moment, in service to this manifestation? Okay? And it may not be an action. It may be shifting the self-talk. It may be adjusting the attitude. It may be resetting the essence, invoking it in the body, right? It may not be another thing on the to-do list. And it may be, right? But that is the power question, okay? Now, Perhaps, well, the answer is, you're going to pause, and the answer may be invoke an essence. Sit down, invoke an essence. And if you want, cast it as a divinity bubble. That might be it. It might also be that you look at the classroom of your life, you see it clearly speaking to you. Okay, there's three places you're going to get divine guidance. Well, actually, two places. Let's talk about two. The classroom of your life, the divine is co-creating with you. They will be giving you clues in the classroom of your life experience, right? You'll be able to see, is this the right direction, the wrong direction? Am I going downstream, like swimming with the currents? Am I trying to push upstream, right? Am I getting, wow, maybe I'm not on the most direct path here, right? And the flip side, am I seeing proof? Am I seeing little pieces dropping in? We call this spiraling in the right direction, right? Like, yes, I'm being more consistent. Yes, the scale went down one notch. Or, yes, my audience is growing. Or even by one person. Or, are you moving in the right direction? A small step as it may be, I chose a great option today, or I did something really in service to that growth path, okay? Or I really worked with that worried part and I feel it's less worried, right? These are all spiraling in the correct up, spiraling up. Are we moving? And there's a principle called compounding manifestation. They stack, they compound on top of each other. You only need a baby step. Are you going in the right direction? The classroom of your life is going to show you that. And the second place where when you ask that question you might be getting an answer is from your essence and your higher self. If you invoke an essence and then you just sit and pause for a second and ask, what's my inspired action step? Where to? Right? From 5D, from the essence of the manifestation, then you're going to find the right direct path. It's going to bubble up. Right? And there's a skill set to learning, and it's just you need to do the do, okay? There's a skill set in learning. Is it bubbling up, or is like my mind going, do this, and then suddenly you've got a 10-point checklist? Let me pause and it's like, what is the one small inspired action step? And consistency is key here. So if you have to keep going, actually, can I have smaller, please? Smaller, please, until the inspired action step is something you could do in the next 5 or 10 minutes. That's small. Not, oh, write the book or, it's not the big thing. The big thing might be, but that's a bigger vision. It's got to be so small, those inspired action steps, because you're compounding. You're compounding. You're making sure you're turning the correct way into flow. You're looking for the direct path. Remember, the manifestation can easily drop in at any point. You do not need to get to the end of the growth journey or the perfectionism or whatever's riding you. You just need to be consistently pointing in the right direction. Okay, making the baby steps. So make sure that inspired action step is something that will keep you in momentum. And maybe it is just invoking the essences. At some point on this plane, we are a plane currently of active principle. There will be some action required to sustain momentum in most manifestations. Not all, right? But in most. So you're looking for what it is, okay? So there are your questions, and there's where you're going to find your answers. And the answers could be that growth journey. It could be to zoom the hell out and remember, what was my feeling state? What was my bigger goal here? What was my growth journey, right? And point that direction, okay? Perhaps it's to ignite the essence and reset your field, right? Or the inspired action step, okay? Any of those could be answers to that question. There's many variations. And as you live them and do them, right? I really mean this, keep it simple. But as you live them and do them, you'll understand what I'm talking about when you experience it, even just once, right? And it's interesting to watch. You want the small, consistent movements, but it's interesting to see how fast things start to shift when you actually enact this practice, okay? All the work leading up to it set you up to be in an awesome place to get this manifestation to drop in fast. This is now the simple process. You just keep doing, and it's done, it is done, and it's going to drop in. And it will start dropping in fast, okay? Okay, so the inspired action step comes from two places, right? If you're looking for an inspired action step, let's say that you've decided, well, at bare minimum, you're going to enact this practice in the morning. Okay, I would enact this practice in the morning and I would ignite an essence in the evening as I was going to sleep or when I was in bed. I would definitely do those to that bookend, if nothing else. I'm telling you, the power move is do it throughout the day, this practice, this in the moment practice. Okay, it's quick, it's easy, it doesn't take a lot of time, but it requires conscious awareness. It's the pattern interrupt, it's the thing that resets you back to manifestation all the time. Okay, so if you're looking for the morning inspired action step, let's say, then what I want you to do is invoke the essence. An essence from the apothecary. The timeline one is the one I've loved this week. I've used that one heaps, but it's not the only one. There's many. Okay, you've probably got two or three. You've got a value, you've got some emotional states, all of those. Ignite that in your body. Have I taught everyone that? Let me know if I haven't, because I actually have a really beautiful little postery thing on how to do that if you don't know, and I will just pop that in the extra resources for everyone if I haven't taught that for some reason. But re-invoke the essence. Once you've breathed some animus life into it and it's expanded through your body, that puts you in 5D. That puts you in connection with your higher self. You may even want to call in the higher self, right? That and what is the focus of the journey right now? You don't remember that one on the timeline. Okay. Maybe it's a bit of older work. Okay, Lou, I will probably pop that one today into the extra resources, which will go out by email for everyone. Okay. Okay, so you reinvoke the essence. You think about, okay, where's the classroom showing me my growth journey is right now, right? Is it in my worried part? Is it an area of growth? Is it in, we talked about all that. Won't go into that. Okay, there comes your inspired action step from there. Okay. Okay. And the other thing that we're going to look at is that's your daily practice, right? But within that, you're going to have attitudinal adjustments, right? And some of them will be clearing fear and doubt. We're going to talk way more about that and attachment, all the paradoxes of manifestation, like attached, you've got to be clear and you've got to know exactly what you want, but don't be attached, right? Like that sort of stuff. We're going to talk about that in workshop 6, right? But for now, you want to be clearing fear and doubt. Like, is that true? Is that true? Am I trying to push this through just from my human self? That's an attachment to suffering. Maybe step back and go, right, divine. Are you asking the divine all the time for co-creation, help, support, right? So it's not just the inspired action step, you're also creating room and building your relationship with the divine. Do you have trust and faith, right? And you're going to notice it in your manifestations. If you really listen to your self-talk, your relationship, your faith and trust that you're going to be answered, you're going to hear it here, okay? But also clearing fear with those worried parts. Is that really true, what my critic is telling me? Right? You want to check in and okay, that's not total truth. Working with those worried parts. And of course, recommitting to the higher power, which I've already spoken about. Okay, so that in the moment practice and invoking an essence. That's it. Now, I say that's it because I want it to be two simple things. And you'll notice it's a journey and an essence. Journey, essence. There's the two pieces. One's an in the moment practice and one's an energetic piece. Between the two of those things, that keeps the path between the dimensions as clear and in slipstream as possible, so the manifestation can drop in. Okay, for the weavers here on the call, and there's many of you, so I will just give you an extra little bit. Right, weavers. For the other, we're going to talk more about what I'm talking about here on Friday, but I want to give the weavers the extension. The best thing, hands down, you can do if you are in conscious, active manifestation is weave. You don't need higher service weaves. You don't need ritual weaves. You don't even need to cast circle if you don't want to. Just weave 5 minutes a day, right? Why? You know that you want to be creating a huge amount of fluidity, of movement in the energy, the currents of creation moving through your body. Weaving 101, right? Fluidity. It accelerates all your personal development work, whether you're healing or manifesting. Basic weaving creates the fluidity. You know this, you've all experienced it. It's actually setting you up for rapid shift. And again, you know this because you've all experienced it in some form. Okay, you also know that with that fluidity comes that you're so fluid, your energy is moving so much in your system that you are clearing resistances. Any of that gunk in the stream in the energetic core is moving far faster, right? Way faster, way less mental slog. We're going to work at it from the energetics and the somatics. We're moving it through the body, moving somatically out of the body, right? So you're going to get the slipstream of that. Your pathway is going to be way clearer. Your core is moving fast. And that column between the manifestation is moving fast. Okay, with that, of course, comes what we've all called the whitewater rapids of manifestation. You should all remember this from your level 1 weaving experience. It happens early. You know that it happens once you guys start weaving in just a week, right? You start to get that energy flow, the slipstream, and you get all the little whitewater rapids of manifestations, little things just dropping in willy-nilly over 24 hours, right? I think everyone's experienced them, all the weavers here. That is the perfect manifestation flow state, right? And of course, you are rewiring the nervous system, the somatics plus the neuroscience, right? You're rewiring. When we take a natural weaving state and we put, let's say, the divine. Let's not even say our essences, although I would encourage you to use your essences in all your weaves right now. But let's say you just invoke earth and divine, the very standard invoke for a weaver. You have earth energy and divinity flowing through your body. You are rewiring, recalibrating your windows of tolerance, your nervous systems, all of your trigger responses. You're setting that whole frequency back again, and you're definitely moving into 5D, right? These are all the things you want. You know, it also heightens your intuition. You know that when you're weaving, you get the inspired action steps dropping in all over the place. You know, often when I weave, especially if I'm weaving and I'm in the process of teaching new material, I will be getting the whole class channeling through me as I'm weaving all the time, right? And not necessarily a weaving class, right? I could be teaching something totally different. The whole class is dropping in. I often have to have a piece of paper and a pen, just get some bullet points going. So all your intuition is heightened and your channeled state is heightened. Okay, so weavers, weave, just basic 5-minute, 10-minute weaves as much as you can, several times a week, right? You know that it's going to rapidly speed everything up, okay? So for everyone again, manifestation is really the byproduct of you being in the correct, like flowing with the currents of creation, right? Without the resistances, without the suffering, without all the blocks jamming you in and making things divert and go around. You do not want the blocks and gunks in your body, in your nervous system, in the nerves, in the fascia. You also don't want them in the somatic spaces in your body and the different registers in your body, which we can talk about on Friday actually, okay? Manifestation becomes the byproduct. So pretty much every long-term weaver that I know who's been weaving with me for a couple of years, right? They've all manifested all sorts of things, houses, community, careers, health, like everything, right? And they've done it not because they're on a manifestation journey, but because they're weavers, right? So here's like an example. During lockdown and the pandemic and the craziness, one of my circles of priestesses was moving through the priestess journey. They were not there for the manifestation, right? And yet five of them in that circle in the crazy lockdown, no one can go anywhere state, 5 of them manifested their dream houses. The lake houses, the houses by the ocean, the houses on acreage, 5 of them, right? Not because they were like, I'm trying to manifest this house, I'm trying to manifest this house. I'm sure the house was there. Like, they're like, I do actually want this house. But they were weaving, right? And they were using all of this somatic magic process. For the non-weavers here, you can still manifest 100%. I would love for you to come and become a weaver. Hell yeah, right? But everything I've given you here, there's not one way to manifest. These skill sets will get you there 100%. Okay? But the manifestation, the physical dropping in piece, is a byproduct of the work that you do to receive the manifestation. It's the internal transformation. Remember I said if you haven't yet ever created the thing you're going for on the physical before, then the internal transformation will precede the external manifestation of it, right? And so you're like, oh, so I got to do the internal transformation. What I've just talked about today, that's how you do it. Okay, and it doesn't need perfectionism. It doesn't need to be complete. The manifestation can still drop in progress. Okay, as within, so without. Hell yeah, absolutely. Okay, and for people who are here listening to this and like, I'm really super curious about this weaving thing, I am actually going to run a new level 1 weaving. I haven't done this for a year or so. I haven't opened the doors, but I am opening the doors now, and I am super freaking excited. You'll be hearing more about weaving, but you've heard about a little bit already this week. If you want to know more about it, like you're like, I am curious, I want more details, don't just beat around the bush. Give me the actual details. Just reply to the most recent email from Shandara or DM me here on Facebook and just let me know you'd like the deets. And as soon as I have them written up with all the nitty gritty, all the details, the dates, the times, yada, 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 all the bits that you want, you'll get them. Okay? So do that. Let me know. Right? Okay. So the last thing that we're going to talk about, I've kind of already talked about. So actually, I'm not going to talk about it too much. I'm going to summarize. I was going to talk about the journey, not the destination. I'm pretty sure I've covered that today, and I've covered the classroom of your life. Okay, so given those 2 things, we're just going to talk about what you want to be doing now. Nice, clear summary. Okay, step of manifestation. 1, craft your vision statement. Make sure it's nice and clean. Know what you want. Have clarity. Put all the pieces in it that we talked about. Step 2, do a ritual. Have the energetic container, the focus, the intention, birth it on the higher planes of existence with clarity, with power, with conviction. Ritual. Okay, step 3, receive the manifestation. Okay, what is receive the manifestation? Your daily process. Okay, there's 2 pieces. There's the journeying piece and there's the essence piece. The journeying piece, in the moment practice. What does this situation ask for in service to the manifestation? Okay, or what can I do right now in service to this manifestation? Knowing it might not be a to-do list. Okay, that is the journeying piece. Notice what it is. Do you need to focus in the growth, the worrying part, your relationship to the divine? Do you need to reset your frequency? Allow the inspired action or the answer to that to bubble up. Okay, you'll see the answers in the classroom of your life, and your essence and higher self will guide you. Okay, and then the second piece, add an essence invoke. Work with the energetic apothecary and the somatic magic. It's like super power up amplifiers, pulling you constantly up into 5D and constantly into energetic alignment with your manifestation. Okay, that's it. That's what you want to do. Okay. I'm never going to make a half-hour live. I do try. I'm sorry, people. All right, I have finished talking for today. Let me just double check that there's no questions. No. Okay. In that case, my loves, it was so awesome to have you here. Looking at all the comments, I will put the essence invoke into the extra resources. Just make a note of that. You do want the essence poster. Okay, no problem. Okay, my loves, have an awesome day. Enjoy the Lionsgate energy. Um, if you are feeling a little wobbly, look at my post on the somatic safety in the body piece, because you might just be feeling that the energy is intense. Get out into nature, have some earth. Okay. Mwah. Much love to you all, and I'll see you on Friday, which is actually all about fluidity and whitewater rapid of manifestation. Okay, much love. Bye bye.